Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Jackpot. Yes. Which one you want? Hit the jackpot.
All right, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilman Asbill,
Present.
Councilman Buddy,
Present.
Councilman Chatelain,
Present.
Councilman Johnston,
Present.
Councilman Wheeler,
Present.
Mayor Bodier,
Present.
Police Chief Walker, Fire Chief St. Cyr,
Present.
Finance Director Todd Tunion, City Attorney Scott Stansberry, and Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee is present.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Before we move to special presentations, I would like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to add proposed ordinance number 2019-25 to ordinance for introduction. Madam Clerk, please read the title of the ordinance.
Yeah.
Ready for that either.
You ready?
I have it, An ordinance to amend ordinance number 1772 to sell property owned by the city of Harahan, providing for the procedure to be utilized pursuant to the provisions of LRS 334712, which provides for the sale, exchange, or lease of property by a municipality.
Okay. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is amended.
Move to amend the agenda to add new business number 1 regarding the Muirlazen Avenue block party.
All right. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Buddy, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Got one more time.
Go ahead.
Move to amend the agenda to add Wood Materials LLC et al. Versus City of Harahan, 24th JDC number 761783 to executive session.
Do I have a motion to move the motion to amend the agenda for Woods Material?
Need motion.
I'm sorry, we've got a motion for Councilman Asbill. Got a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Executive session is added to discuss Woods Material. Okay. Okay. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda to add to special presentations Jeff Cialino with Cialino's Pharmacy? Motion by Councilman Wheeler.
Second.
Second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
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 Special presentations is amended.
Number 2. Where's he gonna go first?
Yeah, he's going to go number 2.
First. Wait, you want me to go first? All right. So then she's going to. Where's Jeff?
I lost my time.
Well, Jeff's gonna go first.
Okay. Jeff?
Thank you. I was just here to introduce myself back to the community of Harahan. I was a pharmacist in River Ridge at C&G, and I opened up a store now in Harahan at 7335 Jefferson Highway behind Dollar General and Colonial Manor strip mall. It's called Cialino Drugs. So I'm just here to introduce myself to everyone and welcome everybody back to Harahan. I'm happy to be back. I'm very excited to be back. And I went through a lot, selling businesses and all that stuff, pharmacy and stuff. So now I'm back in Harahan. I'm ready to go.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay, Chief Walker?
Can I address Jeff before we leave? Can we address Jeff before we leave?
Good evening, Mayor,
Excuse me.
Council.
1 second.
Excuse me. I just want to thank Jeff
Yes.
for bringing his business to Harahan. It means a lot to the city. That strip mall is cleaning up. They're fixing it up nice. You bring a lot of business in there. We appreciate you coming back, bringing your business to Harahan. We do appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll add one more thing, guys. If you want to, it's super easy to transfer your prescriptions over today. I did it today.
transfer mine from Winn-Dixie to Ciolino. It's super easy. They can do it over the phone. Just got to have the number on the bottle. So, yep, call or go in with your bottle number, and they'll take care of it for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
Thank you.
Viewing public. Tim Walker, Police Chief, Harahan. I got a few announcements. One, in September 11th through the 14th, in River Ridge at the 3rd District Volunteer Fire Department, they're going to have a certified passenger safety technician class. We're putting the information on our Facebook page, or you can call the station and get the information to register. It's 4 days, but when you finish, you become a certified technician to install safety seats, child safety seats in vehicles. Again, that's from September 11th through the 14th, and we'll leave some information at our office. Forget schools back in session. We have 3 schools in Harahan: St. Rita, 7100 block of Jefferson Highway, Faith Lutheran, 300 block Colonial, and Harahan School in the 6700 block of Jefferson Highway. And don't forget, no cell phone use during school zone hours. Again, I said before, if you see something, say something. Don't hesitate to call 911. If you see something that's suspicious, pick up the phone and call us right away while you see what's not right at that time. I want to introduce 2 people that I think are part of our community that can bring something to the table to help us. They've been here for a while, but I don't think they've really got the exposure they need. First is the Harahan VFW Post 3267 Commander, Tab Henderson, and I'm going to let Tab give you a little information about what the post does. They're very active in the community.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Again, Tab Henderson, Post Commander, VFW Post 3267, right there on Hickory. Big red building, American flag painted on the front of it, can't miss us. First and foremost, I'd like to talk about our membership. We probably got 150 members strong, 151, I think. Always looking for new members. We do have a very specialized kind of veteran where our membership has to have served on foreign soil during some type of conflict. So not all veterans can join. Actually, in the name Veterans of Foreign Wars. So if you know anybody who is a veteran that served overseas during a conflict, please send them our way. We'd love to have them. A lot of people in the community reached out to us to start doing some things like bring markets to our posts and things like that, and we started doing it. And we just like everybody to come by and see what we're doing. So we have markets, we have craft fairs, we have dances. Most of the stuff that we do are free to the public, other than the dances, because we do have to pay for entertainment. But I'd also like to tell you, how we're active in the community is, we have Americanism, Patriot Spin. This involves grade school children. So we go out every year, a couple times a year, and they do different things. The kindergartners, they color pictures of flags. They're graded at the post level, then at the district level, then at the state level, and all the way up to national, okay? We had somebody from here that came in 3rd in national in the Patriots Pen, which is an essay that's written 300 on different topics each year. So, coloring flags, drawing flags, and there's a couple other things that we do to involve the kids, okay? Last year when we had our presentation, the house was packed. We had probably 300 people in there. And to see the joy in them little kids' face when they get their certificate or trophy, unbeatable. And I'm probably going to end with just letting you know some functions that we have coming up here in the next couple months. September 14th, we have our outdoor craft fair. Okay, it's from 9 to 4. There'll be all kinds of vendors out there selling stuff. That's going to continue the 2nd Saturday of every month. This is something a lot of people in the community ask for, and we'd like you to come show up, shop, peruse the aisles, Also, September 14th, we're having a concealed carry class. We donated the hall for a group to use. All the money is going to be donated to the NRA. So we've donated the hall, and the instructor has donated his time to come down here. I think the price is $100 versus $180 or $160. So September 14th is a class. It's going to be from 8 to 5. everyone who's thinking about getting a concealed carry permit, it's a win-win. Really, really good price on it. October 19th, we're gonna have our Halloween dance, $15. Jake and Nifty 50s will be there. Fun time, no hassle, bring your own beer. We do have setups, so we give you Coke, water, that type of stuff. $15 to get in. November 11th, we'll have our Veterans Day event. On that day, we normally do flag retirements. So, and those of you who don't know, if you have any flags that need to be retired, please bring them to our hall. We will dispose of them properly. We got boxes full of them. So once a year, sometimes twice a year, we try and dispose of them the right way. So we'll have that. We'll have hot dogs, hamburgers. Be kind of a little festive event. We'll have a DJ there. It's all free. Just come on by, see us, come to the ceremony. And again, we appreciate everybody's support. Thank y'all.
Ted,
Yes.
real quick, if you send all of that stuff over to us at City Hall, we'll get it all added onto the website for you. We'll even make a little special spot for you on it, so you
Okay.
can have your own little, your own little section.
Perfect.
Good, thank you
Hey.
very much.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, sir?
We do have a Facebook page. You can see everything we got going on. It's
Perfect.
VFW Post 3267. Our website is VFW3267.org. So look us up. If you friend us on Facebook, you'll see everything we got. But I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been to a lot of their functions, and they do a lot to promote Harahan. I know some of their craft fairs and that, talking to people, they do some shopping at the craft fair, but they also visit our local eating establishments, buy fuel and that. So it's a positive thing for the community. Also with that, I want to introduce Lieutenant Colonel William Hutton. He's with the Pontchartrain Civil Air Patrol Squadron, and they also based at the Harahan VFW Post 3267. And it's a real good program for the youth, and I'll let Lieutenant Hutton speak about it.
Hello, everyone. William Hunton, Civil Air Patrol. Been a long-time organization. We actually started December 1st, 1941, 1 week before Pearl Harbor. So we've been around a long time. Our particular squadron got started in 2000 by my parents, so I'm helping to carry that legacy on. We currently meet at the VFW post, been there for a while. I'm retired Air Force myself, and so I wear two hats, chaplain of the VFW post and commander for the Civil Air Patrol Squadron. It is not just a youth organization. We are actually the fourth entity of the total force of the Air Force. So we can provide a lot of services to the whole Harahan community in disaster response and aerial photography, assistance with natural disasters and stuff like that. I actually have packages for each of y'all, if you could mind passing those down for me. It's got capability listings in there of what we can do for you, and I also have some brochures of the cadet program as well. Some squadrons are what we call composite squadrons. They actually have aircraft and flying teams along with cadets. Our particular squadron is more of a ground team type squadron. We focus for cadets 12 to 18 years of age to come in and be part of our program. We do a lot of color guards, community service. This weekend we are doing a funeral service for a World War II veteran that flew the hump. If anyone knows what that is, that's a pilot that flew the missions from India to China over the Himalayan mountains. Very, very treacherous route, 1,500 missions, and he had some beautiful stories. He came to our squadron a couple times. We did some functions together at the World War II Museum, and we provided him with honorary membership for our squadron. So we'll be assisting him this weekend. We've been doing color guards at the World War II Museum for Soaring Valor, where Gary Sinise comes into town with 41 World War II veterans and their guardians and all the air crew, and provides a wonderful banquet with that, Tommy. And so it's a great opportunity that your children can get involved in. Something sounds like they'd like to be interested in. We don't just do color guards. We get kids in, we get the young cadets in, and once they make their first promotion, we put them in an aircraft, a Cessna 172 or 182, and we actually take them flying. They get 5 seats, 5 flights right in the front seat, hands on the wheel, about an hour flying time for each of those flights. And we can renew that as well. They'll work their way up through Chief Master Sergeant and then go into the officer program as well. So it's a great, great program, and we call it one of the best kept secrets in America. So we'd like to offer that to y'all. We're part here at Harahan. We've been here since 2011 at the VFW post, and we want to continue to be part of Harahan. Thank you for all.
What's the age group for the cadet?
12 to 18.
And how do they sign up?
We meet every Tuesday night at the VFW, 6:30 to 9 o'clock. Come by, you're always welcome. What we do is the cadets can come and see us, see what we're all about. We have them attend 3 meetings. Once they attend 3 meetings, then they can join. Membership for the year is a whopping $31 for an annual fee. Where else can you get into a program like that? Not only, most of the time we can provide them the free ABUs or BDUs, the camouflage uniforms, but once they make their first promotion, besides going flying, they also get a $100 certificate for getting their free blue uniform, the blue pants and blue shirt, Air Force style uniform from Vanguard, which is our supplier for Civil Air Patrol uniforms. Great, great program. Please see me afterwards. I have some more business cards if anybody would like any more information. Thank you.
Hey, look, y'all, to kind of go on top of Commander Hunting, is the Civil Air Patrol, myself, my wife, one of my children, they were in the program. Pretty active. Great, great program. They'll teach your kids character development. They'll teach them to be leaders. They do real life missions, you know, search and rescue missions. Teach you about aerospace engineering, and you get to fly a plane. I mean, what else could you ask for? But great, great group of people, very dedicated. There's no one more dedicated than this guy right here. So, if your child needs some direction, this is a good place to start, I can tell you. So, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add a very special presentation for a very special person.
Moved.
I have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yeah.
I've been very blessed as a councilman and a mayor
Get that
to be
mic
able
to
to
you.
come in and work under 3 mayors, 4 mayors, and learn about what to do and, you know, what not to do, and find my own way. But this is very personal to me, and this gentleman's been a mentor to me in my life. And in recognition of your dedication and service to the city of Harahan on this special day, happy 90th birthday to Mr. Carlo. We appreciate all you have done and continue to do for our community. You ready? All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mr. Carlo. Happy birthday to you. Many more. Mr. Carlo, I need you to come.
I want to tell you something. They would have put 90 birthday
All right, Mr. Carlo. Yeah, come on, you get a picture with us. Let's go.
Smile, everyone. This way, Mr. Carlo.
Wait, one more. Kayla, get up. She's like, dang it.
Almost.
Should we cut that up?
Take a 5-minute recess.
So could we get clear?
Well, we're gonna make a motion to go into executive session. You're gonna go last? All right. Okay. You wanna do 5 minutes or you wanna? All right. All right, Madam Clerk.
All right. Approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on July 18th.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on July 18th.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the
Motion.
council meeting? A motion by Councilman Chatelain, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
And communications. Reading of the minutes of the Board of Adjustments and Appeals on May 15th.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the,
Move to defer.
you want to defer?
Yes.
Okay. Have a motion on the floor to defer the minutes for the
May
Board of
15th
Adjustments. Okay.
Appeals Board meeting.
All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are deferred.
Who seconded that, guys?
Carrie. That was Carrie and Jason.
All right, approval, reading of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Board on July 10th.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Yes, motion.
Motion by Councilman Bodie, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Approval of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Board on July 10th.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for the planning and zoning meeting on July 10th?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Resolutions? None?
Resolution, there's no resolutions tonight, and ordinances for approval. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Buddy. This is proposed ordinance number 2019-14. An ordinance to amend the City of Harahan Code of Ordinances to provide for the establishment of procedures, terms, and conditions managing the occupancy and use of public right-of-ways by providers of telecommunication services.
Do I have a motion to open for public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson. Second by Councilman Chatelain. Public hearing is now open. No one coming forward to speak on this motion. Do I have a motion to close?
Motion.
Motion to close. My vote for Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public comment is now closed.
Move to defer
right.
this ordinance to the next meeting.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to defer,
Second.
second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is deferred.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-17. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Wheeler and seconded by Councilman Buddy. An ordinance approving the re-subdivision of 131 Oakland Avenue, Lot 45A, Block 2, Markham Heights subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Ronald Clement, dated April 5th, 2019.
Okay, do I have a motion to open for public hearing?
Motion.
Move.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Johnson. Public hearing, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open.
That microphone's working. Yep.
Mary O'Quinn, 117 Oakland Avenue. I live next door, and though I don't have an objection because it does meet the requirements, I do want to let you know that still as of today, I have not received my certified letter. I went over and walked over about 6:15, took a picture of the sign, and it says the meeting was August 7th. The sign was never updated. So would you all please look into why we're not getting our formal notices? And also to please make note that the house still is standing, and I understand you don't want to take it down until you all officially subdivide it. But that needs just to be noted, okay?
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else coming to speak? Okay. No one else coming to speak. Have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Public hearing is now closed, 5 yeas, 0 nays.
Council discussion?
Okay, council discussion?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. I wasn't able to make planning and zoning. How did planning and zoning, did they recommend?
They did unanimously recommend, yes.
Thank you. That was my only question.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
So it seems we've got a notice requirement on this all around. People didn't get their certified letters. The sign was incorrect for the new date. And so I would say that we need to defer this to make sure we advertise it correctly again, and go back to the Planning and
Back to
Zoning
planning
Board
on that.
so that everybody can have their chance to speak on it, and then come back to us whenever they
second.
can.
Okay, so I
Move
have
to
a
defer.
motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to defer, second by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion is deferred.
Can I discuss on this, even though this is deferred? Yep. At no point is this the guy purchasing the property's fault. This is internal with the post office mistakes, the city of Harahan mistakes. So I don't want anybody to think this guy's trying to do something that's not right. I mean, one of our deals is, I mean, we got certified mail. If the city of Harahan's paying for certified mail to go out and it's not getting to the citizens, we're gonna see about changing this to where we're gonna hand deliver these. I mean, that's supposed to be our proper way to do it, and it's not happening that way. So we are looking into this. That's why it's getting deferred, and we plan on voting on this next month.
Yeah, needs to be done right.
Thank you.
Maybe.
Next.
All right.
All right, Madam Clerk?
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-20. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman, who would like to second this? Wheeler?
Yeah.
An ordinance to amend the City of Harahan Code of Ordinances to provide for the protection and promotion of the public health, safety, and welfare by regulating and eliminating those nuisances which have a negative impact upon the quality of life, safety, and health of the neighborhoods where they are located.
Okay. Do I have a motion to open for public hearing?
Move.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnston. Public hearing is now open.
Good evening. My name is Cindy Herman, and I live at 8123 Huntley Lane. I have a few problems with this proposed ordinance. Some of it is mainly in verbiage. It's contradictory in some areas. It looks a lot like Jefferson Parish's ordinance was just picked up. Are there any railroads in Harahan that need to be addressed? No. Am I missing one? Okay. That's in there, which could be struck, and it could be less wordy and less intimidating to citizens, okay? Because a lot of people are going, but I can't read through all of this. I don't understand, okay? So average citizens are reading it, all right? And let's face it, the real negative impacts in the safety in the neighborhoods are the smells that we're dealing with in all the neighborhoods. It's bad out there, and I'm sure you all recognize it. But as far as a negative impact on the quality of life, that's a biggie, and safety and health. Also, some of the open sewers that are still open, there's big problems, okay, with that around Grove and Ninth. All right, and when you smell it, when you pass it and your windows are open, you smell it. On the second page, you talk about having a problem with open excavation. That applies to Colonial. If this was in force now, the open excavation there would be illegal. Let me say this. If you look about abatement by owner and ongoing notices, the same problem you're having, line 283. Those notices shouldn't ever be mailed just by regular mail. They should be certified mail, which I understand that's a post office problem, but if it comes to hand delivery and receiving a signature receipt from a property owner, that's the proper way to do it, or else legally you take action on the property, you're gonna have a problem. You need that signature, okay? I read line 318 double I. regulatory hearing officer, court hearing officer. Is this going to be another new hire for this job? Okay, that's a question. You can answer it later. I'm just posing all of this. I just threw it together today. Okay, line 404, licensed attorney for 2 years, and another paragraph about 5 pages back says 5 years. All right, and that licensed attorney shall be appointed by the city attorney and serve at his will, but another paragraph says appointed by the mayor and approved by the council. Contradictory. Let's clear that up, okay? Line 454, parenthesis B. The sheriff effecting collection of fines and fees shall be reimbursed 15%. We don't have a sheriff, we have a chief of police. Would Jefferson Parish collect that fee? Okay, I don't know. Line 835, about constituting a fire hazard. Well, selling fireworks constitutes a fire hazard in the city limits. That is why it's illegal to shoot them. So that's a fire hazard. Okay, no matter which way you look at it, it's a fire hazard considered across the country. Line 1167, parenthesis 2. All holes or depressions in the ground must be filled to grade levels. There are quite a few sinkholes in the city that should be filled to ground level, and they're still with us. Okay, and I know because I live by one.
Ms.
All
Herman,
right,
I'm sorry, your 3 minutes are up.
my 3
I'm-
minutes
I'm
are up.
just- yeah.
Do you have a lot more?
No, just,
I'm
I'll
just
make
the
a motion.
timer. When it
I'll make a
goes
motion to
off,
give it 2 more minutes.
Okay,
you go.
motion by Councilman Chatelain to give 2 more minutes.
thank you,
I'm just the
thank you,
timer. And I
thank
don't-
you.
Second by?
absolutely.
Alon
Second by
829,
Councilman
parenthesis
Rodriguez.
2. Unhealthful cause of sickness and disease. Well, that's the open surge. And line 611, inspections. Fences and gates. Inspect any premises in the city to inspect a dangerous swimming pool or open soil excavation. Well, we have a lot of gates that are locked, and we have a lot of fences around properties that are grandfathered in for years. And by whose opinion to come onto private property? You know, people have their dogs out, and if you take and you come into the property, the dogs are going to do what dogs do, even if they're good and old dogs, okay? So, you know, that again, that goes to notification, and if there is a problem or a report, just contact the property owner, and that way you don't have private property rights involved. Okay, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Henry.
you for
Yes,
the
ma'am.
extra time. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Judy Johnson, 815 Oak Avenue. I don't think you'll have to worry about this ordinance. Last night, the zoning board voted to create a subcommittee to rewrite this ordinance and number 22 because they are poorly written and contain many inconsistencies and passages that don't apply to Harahan. They also have passages that conflict with one another, as Ms. Herman pointed out. So I'd ask this committee, this board, to defer or pull it until it's redone by the zoning board and it's up for their approval again. And they also asked Mr. Charlet to please enforce our own existing nuisance ordinance.
Okay,
Thank you.
anyone else? All right, no one else coming up to speak? Oh, okay. Come on, bud.
You need to.
Yeah, you got it.
Name and-
John Voce, 7612 Stoneley. Can y'all just give us a little bit of where this was birthed from?
Sure.
Maybe some examples? What brought this on? I mean, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Okay, no one else coming to speak on this ordinance. I have a motion to close public hearing. Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Johnson. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
So the Planning and Zoning Board did create a subcommittee last night of a few of them. They're going to take this ordinance and the regulatory court ordinance, reconcile it, and come back to us with a new draft. And so right now, I'd like to we can have some discussion, but eventually I'm going to make a motion to defer so that, and it may be when it comes back to us that we might have to withdraw it depending on how much they change it.
Right.
Because if they change it too much, you just got to withdraw it and start over. So we'll, but for now, we'll defer it. But if anybody else wants to discuss before I do that, let's do it.
I just have a question and I'm happy with Subcommittee of Planning and Zoning Review, but how does this fall under planning and zoning?
I don't know that it does because it doesn't affect any type of zoning.
Right.
So I don't know that it does, but if they want
I
to,
think they decided just on their own to create a committee within themselves
Mhm.
to kind of dissect and maybe come with some recommendations.
And again, I'm happy to get recommendations from citizens
Right.
or them. I was just,
If
for
I'm
my
not
own
mistaken, I believe that's how
clarification, I'm not sure it actually falls under their bailiwick, but I'm happy for them to
Yeah.
do it and us to wait and get comments.
right.
So someone asks, you know, where does this ordinance come from? How do we pull these ordinances? Basically, we'll come up with an idea to come up with a new ordinance, and basically you'll take other city municipalities and different cities, pull their ordinances, look at them, judge them, pick different things, pick them apart different ways, and that's just basically the way to get the ordinance started. Everyone knows this is basically a Jefferson Parish ordinance that we're gonna pick apart, change different things to fit our city and our needs.
I think the more specific question that Mr. Voce was asking was some examples of properties that, and I'm going to say some examples of properties that aren't covered in our current ordinance. So this ordinance adds in those properties that have front covers of roofs falling off, fascia falling off, no protective siding on the side of their house like they've got on Chris Gore in a couple spots. So this ordinance, so it beefs up our current nuisance ordinance by adding those types of nuisances and blighted property and things like that, besides just grass.
It's gonna give our regulatory department
More
and
teeth.
regulatory court more teeth to hold someone liable. And I believe they're gonna add in there, you know, for multiple offenses, you know, the fines are gonna double. I mean, we have the same people we call, move your boat. They move it from one spot to another. Next week, they move it from that spot back to where it was, you know. So we're gonna have this to where we can put a multi-use, you know,
Repeat offender.
repeat offender clause in there. And it happens a lot more than y'all think.
Okay, for me, every day, it's tons and tons of calls to City Hall. And we've had some problems in the city, and I haven't really had time to address a lot of things because I've had some immediate problems, you know, at my fingertips that I had to deal with. The sinkhole on Wilson between Carolyn and Gordon, the sinkhole in David Catalano's backyard, and then we also have a problem with Lift Station 5 and then Harahan Oaks that's being held up in air basically by pipe. And when that goes down, probably a third of the city will not be able to flush their toilets anymore. So I haven't really had a lot of time to dig in a lot of code problems or even enforce a lot of code problems because I've been dealing with problems that needed my immediate attention right now. So I grabbed the council and said, hey, guys, will you help me with this? And so this is where we started because, you know, you got to start somewhere. I mean, we are probably going to, you know, not do everything perfect, but we're going to start. We're going to do something, I can tell you that. And we'll come back. And again, we welcome all comments and discussions. And I'm excited that the Planning and Zoning Board has, you know, stepped up to say, hey, let us get involved. Let us help you. We have a great Planning and Zoning Board, and they really want to be instrumental in the growth and the look of this community as this council does. And I'm excited that we're moving in that direction. I'm excited that, you know, not only does council and this mayor work together, but the council, the mayor, and the Planning and Zoning Board are working together. We get the whole city in line, man, we're going to be on fire and going.
Thank you. Anybody else? Move to defer.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Asbill to defer, second by Councilman Chatterley. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is deferred.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-21. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman
Second.
Johnston. An ordinance amending the Harahan Code of Ordinances regarding the regulation, permitting, and licensing the sale of fireworks within the city limits of Harahan and to provide for procedures therewith.
Okay, do I have a motion open for public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open.
May Jean Cassidy, 46 Oak Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana. I am against this ordinance. Fireworks are not allowed in Harahan. Not that the police department enforces the law, but shooting them is against the law. So if you can't shoot them in Harahan, you certainly should not be allowed to store or sell them in Harahan, especially next to our homes. Please defeat this ordinance.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Deputy Chief Erin St. Pierre. I'm with the State Fire Marshal's Office. The Fire Marshal was contacted to be present here. He's out of town, and he asked me to be here to answer any questions you have about the state law that also governs the sale and storage and possession of fireworks in the state of Louisiana. So I'm here to answer your questions if you have any.
We had one question that a lot of property owners were saying that their property taxes or their homeowner's insurance would go up. Is that the case?
I don't have any information about that in particular. No, I couldn't answer to that effect, no.
Would it negatively impact the fire rating if we allowed the sale or the firing of fireworks?
It's always possible with the allowance of possession and use of fireworks that could be the case. The sale of fireworks without the ability to use the fireworks possibly would not.
And what is the State Fire Marshal's Office role in the regulation of fireworks if we were to pass this ordinance?
So the fireworks is governed by revised statute 51:650 ASEC. It's not too extensive, but it does talk about what fees you can charge. It does talk about when you can sell. There's only a certain time within the year that you can sell. It's around June 16th to July 5th, and then again for a period in December. It describes how you can purchase the fireworks, who you have to purchase from, because all those distributors and wholesalers have to be permitted and licensed by our office. It also talks about what you can sell and what you can't sell.
Okay. Does it have any regulation on the storage after the season, after the selling season?
There's lots of regulation on how the items have to be stored.
Okay.
That's extensive, yes.
Perfect.
I also want to point out in regards to the fees, if you were to read the statute in regards to the fees, there's parts of it deal with retailers who are in-state versus out-of-state. The out-of-state it currently says $800, which has been found to be unconstitutional. It just has not been, it hasn't been changed in the law, but there is an injunction against enforcing that. So in regards to your fees, what the law says is that you cannot charge more than what the Fire Marshal's Office charges for the fees.
And what, do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's $100.
And the inspections would be handled by the State Fire Marshal?
The Fire Marshal does inspect all retailers in the state of Louisiana.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else?
What was that site again?
The statute
Yes,
site,
ma'am.
it's 51:650, and
At L?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any more questions? All right, well, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
I think we have a couple citizens that might have questions.
Sure.
If you could.
So everybody can hear. Cindy Herman, 8123 Huntley. My question is storage. If you have 4 permits that are going to be allowed, people pay their fees, where would they store their fireworks? And how would they store them, in what type of building?
Well, that would take a while to describe. Mostly what the law says is where they can't be stored. I could read it off to you, but you can go and read the statute for yourself. You'll see in there. There's also some rules that you can go ahead and look at. But we also, as the Fire Marshal's Office, we also inspect all of those structures as well. So.
Because I read in Florida, they have a bunker system they use because of lightning strikes. And they actually had one bunker just explode over there. Okay?
Like you can't store in your vehicle, you can't store in your home, there's.
Right, but this was a bunker.
Right.
A pre-bunker.
Yeah,
and
the law doesn't mention anything about, the requirements of bunkers or anything like that.
It was even semi-underground, okay? But it was around those big pits that they have, lawn pits, a lot of lightning, so it actually caught fire. So, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Again, Judy Johnson, 815 Oak. This fireworks ordinance opens the city to lawsuits on several fronts. If a child gets injured using the fireworks he purchased in Harahan, you better believe his parents are going to sue the city. And if a catastrophe happens when the fireworks are stored, quote, behind a fence, as is stated in the ordinance, there won't be enough money in this city to pay for the damages. Selling or storing fireworks anywhere close to residential buildings is the most foolish thing this city could allow. Any C2 classification in this city is next to R1. As I said at the last meeting, the only place to put the stands that would protect our citizens is on Jefferson Highway at the truck stop. But selling or storing fireworks next to a gas station would not be the smartest move either. Our citizens know what happens when fireworks explode accidentally. One of our citizens was critically injured. I know what happens when fireworks set a house on fire. It happened when I was a child, and the elderly person living in that home died. Then there's the problem with the fire and police departments. They both have publicly stated that they are understaffed, and the fire department says their equipment needs replacing. So neither are equipped to handle a fireworks explosion. I ask that the council vote to defeat this ordinance or that Mr. Asbill withdraw it. It is poorly thought out and written. This is a strictly cash business, and this city does not have the resources to ensure that the money is sufficiently accounted for and the taxes paid. And no amount of money can compensate for the damage that could be done by an accident. And what you just heard tonight, if we can't charge more than $100 for the permit, you can forget your $25,000 bid.
How's it going? John Voce, 7612 Stoneleigh. Can you maybe discuss some of the statistics for, I've seen some YouTube videos about tents catching on fire and causing large explosions. Is there any way you can maybe go into statistic to maybe how many events they have like this per year, per?
How many events?
Yeah, tents catching on fire.
In the state of Louisiana, I have no knowledge of any tents catching on fire in regards to retailer sales or anything like that.
And then do we have the projected revenues? Has anybody spoken with Ponchatoula, Slidell, Gretna? Found out what our possible revenues may be? Do you know those by any chance?
We're in the works, speaking with them now.
Okay. And sin tax. I know Ponchatoula has a pretty large tax on there. Is that set by the state fire marshal, or is that set by the city?
No, we don't set the tax.
Okay. Is that something that we can clear with Jefferson Parish?
It is.
It is.
The only thing I could add to that in regards to, in regards to the retailer stands is that, in regards to the inspection, they do check that they're in compliance with your NFPA codes. There are fire extinguishers that are required. So there's obviously levels of safety in regards to the retailer stand, but.
Do we need a larger fire department? I guess is the question.
We need a larger fire department without fireworks.
Do we need a larger fire department with fireworks?
We need a larger fire department, period.
Well, I don't know if you know, so I'll just jump in real quick. The conception of this ordinance and the philosophy behind this ordinance was, when the citizens came to us and they asked us, hey, we're looking for, we asked the citizens, hey, we're looking for revenue for the fire department. We're trying to get out, we're trying to figure out ways to get the revenue. The revenue that comes from these fire stands will be dedicated 100% to the fire department. So I don't know if you know that or not, but that's what we're doing. We're trying to do our part and our due diligence of helping and supporting the fire department on our end, and not having to come to the public for everything we need.
I think that's why we need to maybe have a discussion about what the possible revenues are yearly and over the course of a year, and how that's going to be distributed amongst what pools. Westwego's got their millages set and their pools set to go a certain direction. I think that really needs to be kind of set in stone. And I'm against this. In fact, I was talking to my mom, and she said, "So what's on the agenda tonight?" And I said, "Fireworks stands." And she said, "You've got to be kidding me." I did not move to Harahan to see fireworks displays all over Jefferson Highway. I find it a little trashy, personally. if you do vote this in, all I ask is that no city official or city employee are able to apply for licenses. And I hope y'all can add that in there. If you want to go sell fireworks, resign. Thank you.
I'm Tommy Davis Duffy, and I live at 134 Chrysler. And I just want to make sure that you know I love fireworks. I used to climb to the top of my building on Citrus Avenue and watch the fireworks every Friday night over at the ballpark. But I heard someone mention that one of our citizens was almost fatally injured. His brother was, and they were policemen. They were policemen guarding a highly, highly restricted area downtown when the fireworks just went bad. And one of their friends was killed, and the other, they were off-duty policemen working details. And then he's lived a very incredibly stressful life. And I don't want to gloss over that. I don't want to mention his name because I haven't had permission from him to say anything. But I just don't want him to think that we haven't thought about him in making this decision. And I know most of you probably know him. And I just want to say, first of all, that I thank him for his service. And secondly, that I just would hate to see anything like that happen again. Just a reality check, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry Valenti, 191 Colonial Club Drive. I couldn't say it better than what has been said before, and especially the part that Miss Judy brought up that makes it seem so ridiculous is that we do not have a police force and a fire force that could handle an emergency. So it really seems incredibly unjust that we would try to store fireworks here when you all admit that we're not prepared to handle the safety measures. Also, it's disappointing that you don't know what the revenue would be, and yet you're considering this. Once again, we've got an ordinance that is not well thought out, and you present it to the people, but it does no good when you say we don't know what revenue it's going to bring in. And it is admirable to try to bring in some revenue that doesn't tax us, but if you are subjecting the city to lawsuits and regulations and things that we're not prepared for, it's really not a win for anybody. It's premature, and we should get our fire department straightened out before we start storing fireworks around in our city. I think that's really going to make us unsafe and a laughing stock. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now that I'm over the initial shock of the presentation that I received a little while ago, I want to thank all the council, especially you, the mayor, and Rena. I just found out how this all got started, but I want to thank everybody. But mainly, I'd like to thank my family that's out here tonight. Third row, my wife here, granddaughter's over there. So all I can tell you is, and I'm going to sum it up like this. One night I went home and I hollered to my wife, "I'm home." She says, "No, you're not. Your home's on Jefferson Highway." I said, "Oh, the bowling alley." She says, "No. Go down a little bit further on Jefferson Highway, the City Hall. That's your home." Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Move to close the public hearing.
All right, I
on
have a
this
motion by
ordinance.
Councilman Asbill to close public hearing.
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Okay. 5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. All right, council discussion.
All right, I'll start off with discussion. Revenue. That's the question everybody's asking. Revenue. You're gonna put in 1 fireworks stand, you're gonna put in 5 fireworks stands, you're gonna put in 4 fireworks stands. I believe the revenue to the city is gonna be close to the same. And we're talking with Gretna and figuring out revenue and different sources. We're talking to different firework distributors to see what do they sell, what they don't sell. Everybody gets so upset, you know, and they sit up here and they just think this is automatically a shoe-in. This is the way things get discussed, you know, and I've said this before, and I love y'all coming out, speaking your minds, and saying what y'all have to say, and we're listening. But in the same note, we're going to sit there and say, the fire department can't handle it. The question was asked to me, do we need more firemen? Yes, we need more firemen. I'm going to ask the fire chief, have we had a fire situation or emergency situation that we could not handle in the city of Harahan?
No, we respond to all calls. We do very well. We've always overachieved, but, you know, from time to time, they're big enough, we need help.
All right. Did we respond to calls in Jefferson Parish and back them up?
Yes, sir, we do.
Chief, police chief, have we ever had a situation in Harahan we couldn't handle? And if we do have a situation we can't handle, will Jefferson Parish back us up? Thank you. We're doing our homework. We're going to try to get prepared the best we can. Do accidents happen? Yes, accidents happen. When you get in your car every day, you take a chance of an accident happening. We're going to do the best we can. I respect y'all coming here. This ordinance is going to get deferred tonight. We're going to do some homework. We're going to do a little more work. We're talking with state fire marshals. We're talking with other municipalities. And that's the way government works. I appreciate y'all coming here. I appreciate y'all's voice, y'all concerns, and we're listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Move to defer.
I'm going to say one quick comment then. When I started my business, 32 years ago, I had no idea what I was going to make. I had no idea what I was going to do. Well, Councilman Charlie, when you started your business, did you have any idea what you were going to make back then?
I don't know what I'm going to make next year.
That's right. So sometimes we just have to work hard, support our system in every way we can, make sure we follow every law, you know, and I think that we can see where this will take us. And it may take us nowhere, but you know what, it might. I mean, Gretna, West Wego, and LaPlace, and all of these places don't do fireworks stands because they ain't making anything. That's for sure. They're making money, and we need to get a piece of that because we are right centrally located to almost every municipality. You don't have to drive to the West Bank. You don't have to drive across the lake. You don't have to drive to LaPlace. You can drive right here to Harahan and get your fireworks. And that's good money that we will not have to come to you guys again and ask for. This community came out and said, this mayor and this council needs to be fiscally responsible, and we need to tighten our belt and figure out ways to make this fire department money. You know, and I hear people come up and tell us, well, you can't do this and you shouldn't do that. Well, where's the people coming up saying you can do this? Hey, great effort. You know, Miss Valenti and I, wow, agreed on something. She said, I applaud the effort of you guys trying to do something, and that's what we're trying to do here. And we're going to continue to keep trying to do things. And then probably some of you're not going to like, and some of you're going to love, and you know, some people are never going to like anything we do, and that's okay. But it ain't going to stop us from trying. Thank you.
Move to defer.
I have a motion by Councilman Ezra the first, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is deferred.
All right. Proposed ordinance number 2019-22. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Wheeler. An ordinance amending the Harahan Code of Ordinances by the addition of Chapter 19, Harahan Regulatory Court and related regulations and bylaws.
Okay. Do I have a motion to open for public hearing? Motion. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. Public hearing is now open. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open. Okay, perfect. All right, so no one coming to speak forth on this ordinance. Do we have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Chatterling. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
So this is the other ordinance that the Planning and Zoning Subcommittee has taken up and gonna do some work on. So for now, we're gonna move to defer.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Asbill to defer, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion is deferred. Madam Clerk, ordinances for introduction.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-23. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Wheeler An ordinance approving the re-subdivision of 6915 Jefferson Highway, lots D1A, B4, B5, and B6, Tract C, Soniat Plantation Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Gilbert, Kelly, and Couture Incorporated, dated May 16, 2017. And proposed ordinance number 2019-24. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Wheeler. This is an ordinance approving the rezoning of 6915 Jefferson Highway, Lot B1A, Tract C, Soniat Plantation Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Gilbert, Kelly, and Couture Incorporated, dated May 16, 2017. And proposed ordinance number 2019-25. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Wheeler. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 1772 to sell property owned by the City of Harahan, providing for the procedure to be utilized pursuant to the provisions of LRS 334712, which provides for the sale, exchange, or lease of property by a municipality. And there is no old business. New business number 1. Request to have a block party on Merlison Avenue between Bailey Avenue and Park Avenue on Saturday, September 28th from 4 p.m. until 9 p.m.
Okay, do I have a motion to grant permission?
I just have a question about this. Do they have permission to shut down the street? What is, it doesn't say anything in here. Okay.
I'm in favor of granting permission as long as they have a detailed office.
Is that something they need to hire before we grant permission?
Right.
No, it's.
We'll grant it with the stimulation.
Subject to.
Yeah,
Right,
if they try to
subject to.
continue with it without a detail, it'll get shut down.
And are they requesting for the street to be shut down during this time?
Block,
Okay, because
well, it's between a block, I believe.
it doesn't state that as well. right?
Yeah.
Right. Have everybody out there, right, yeah. Okay. Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Chatelain to grant permission. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Permission is granted.
All right, address the council.
Okay, would anyone like to address the council? Please state your name and address at the podium.
Excuse me. May Jean Cazenay, 46 Oak Avenue, Harahan. At the last council meeting, I gave a report of the inspection visit that Barbara Butera and I compiled after a visit to the fire station. I asked if the city engineers had completed their report and given it to the city. I was met with total silence from the mayor and the council, even though you had the report at that meeting. Why won't you answer questions? The people deserve to know how our tax money is being spent. Since you have had the report for over a month, we want to hear all the details of that report. According to Mr. Chatelain, they projected a cost of $750,000 to fix all the problems. Yet we don't even know what the problems are. That would be enough money to build an entire new fire station, which we don't need. Our inspection showed neglect on the city's part of not fixing the roof. The air conditioning and the heating system has been broken for years and has been replaced by 2 more units, but the old system was not removed. The filters look like they have never been changed, and the vents have mold. The ceiling is ruined in that same room, with pieces falling on the floor that have never been swept or cleaned up. The stove was dirty, and the hood needs replacing. The chief should put together a daily maintenance schedule for the men to follow, because that's his job. Yeah. 2 former chiefs, Chief Paul Gleber and Chief Jimmy Pretlove, attended the last meeting, and they were very upset to know that these problems have been happening for years with no resolution. This fire station was built by them and the volunteers who put in hours and hours of free labor to build it. They were proud of their work and kept the station clean and functioning. Now we have a fully paid fire department. The pride is gone. I would like to know if any councilman or the mayor have gone to the station and inspected it for themselves. And if not, why not? Have any of you all been back there to inspect the report from last month that I made?
We answered these questions last month and, at the
Okay,
end of the
did I?
meeting.
I figured you wouldn't answer me. Then tell me, why must two civic-minded women do your work for you? You are the ones being paid to maintain the city, and you're not doing it. You never answer any questions. You state, wait till the end of the meeting, and you will answer, but you never do. Why not? It is your job to let the people know what is going on in the city. And since you won't answer questions, I guess we will have to look elsewhere for answers. It seems like this mayor and council is only worried about buying a new fire truck, selling fireworks, and creating a whole new layer of regulations, nuisances, even though we have a nuisance ordinance that is not being enforced now. Not answering questions is known as silencing the people. Well, Harahan, you better wake up. This is your money, and you should want to know how it is being spent. Come ask questions until they finally answer them, and be prepared to pay higher and higher taxes.
Tommy Davis Duffy at 134 Crislock. And I understand what's being said here because and I just want to explain a little bit that we've asked questions about something as huge as our fire department. It's an integral part of our city that has to be functional and it has to work, and it's really fallen into disrepair. And we keep asking how, and I guess it's just that we're getting no answers. And we want to be taken seriously. We're citizens who are concerned about things. We want to be involved. I want to be out there raising money for our fire department when we have this program that's coming up in August or September and October, whenever. And I want to encourage people to be involved, but we can't be involved if we're not being taken seriously when we say it's like a business and it has basically fallen apart and we don't know why, and nobody is answering our questions. One of my questions is, you went to West Wego to talk to them about the sale of their fireworks. Have you gone to West Wego about what makes their fire department so efficient and work so well? I go to the Marrero market. It's a lot of fun on Saturdays, and I wish we'd do it here again. And I get to talk to a lot of people in the West Bank, and they are so pro-yay, let's do this. And that's what I want to see in Harahan. And I think, we can do that. And Mr. Chatelain, I love you with all my heart, but please do not laugh at people that are standing here at the podium. I'm a senior citizen.
If you're gonna ask me the same question every month, and I talk to you, I answer your questions. You ask me to answer a question, I'm gonna answer the questions at the end.
I understand, and I appreciate that, but it's not you. It's not like you. Anyway, thank you very much.
Jason Rudnick, 7204 Stone Lake. Glad to be back. It's nice. So I just heard, how do we do this? What happened? How? And it seems to me like this council and this mayor are trying to put together how to fix it. Councilman Aspel proposed $40 on the water bill, and that was shot down immediately. It was a lot of money. That was too much. Okay. Now we have a proposal for fireworks that's going to go towards the fire department. How are we going to fix the problem? We're already tapped out as far as our budget goes. Everybody knows that. Harahan has no extra money just floating around, and it certainly doesn't grow on trees. We have to generate it somewhere. So rather than come up here with negativity over and over and over again, how's about somebody comes up with ideas? And the idea to sell licenses to just sell fireworks sure sounds like a how to fix it to me. If you have a better idea, present it. I don't have a better idea. So I like listening to what these guys come up with and giving it a fair shot. And if somebody's doing something illegal, like storing fireworks at their house, with all due respect, how are they going to sue us in the first place? They're doing something illegal. It's illegal to fire them in Harahan. The cops can always go and enforce the law. He can enforce it if there's a telephone call, hey, they're firing a little too much, you need to come out here and fix it. Do you think he's going to respond? Absolutely. Absolutely. He has said and he has maintained and he has effected that he responds to all calls. All calls. Not just my calls. All of them, including yours. So if somebody's firing fireworks and it's dangerous, call the cops. He'll respond. He'll shut it down. That's what he does. What bothers me is all this negativity that we just see bleeding across this podium.
It's not negative, and you're not addressing the
And
council.
it seems to me that I want to see, and what I like seeing, is the positivity that comes from these guys, the ideas, and the creativity. And I want to say thank you for that, because it's hard to do, and you guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, thank you very much for your time. My name is William Wallace, and I'm running for District 78 State Representative here in our area here in Harahan. A lot of people don't realize that there's actually, District 78 goes all the way up north of I-10. So it's quite a big area. But I want people to know that I live at 724 Stewart Avenue here in River Ridge. I've always thought of River Ridge and Harahan as one community. I love this community. I'm passionate about this community. I'm passionate about the people here. Everybody here in this area cares about this community. They've been here for a long time. So as your next state representative, and while I'm running, I want you to know that I'm listening. I'm listening to your concerns. I'm listening to the things that you want to see done. It's my job to represent you on a state level, your concerns, your interests. And so I encourage everybody, when I'm knocking on your door or my Facebook page, William Wallace for District 78, reach out to me, get to know me a little bit, ask me all the questions that you'd like to ask me, because it's important for me to put myself in front of you as often as possible so you can get to know me. A little bit about myself. I moved here when I was 18 years old to River Ridge with my mom and dad. And I started my first business at age 18 doing the same thing I'm doing today, knocking on doors. I was asking people for support at age 18 years old, and this community gave me a business. And do you know, 33 years later, I still have that same business. I can tell you the details about it later. Still have that same business 33 years later because this community helped me get started. Now, I bought my house from my mom after my dad died, which a lot of people do here. They pass their homes on to future generations, which is one of the great things about this community. We love it here. We stay here. We help each other out here. I had a time when I was a single parent. I raised my children by myself. My twin daughters were 8 months old. My son was a year and a half when I first became a single parent. I know the struggles of families. I brought my business through a lot of troubles. I brought my business out of troubles. I got remarried. And so now people ask me, they say, why in the world are you running for state representative? You've been through a lot. You could go back into business. You could ignore all this. And I said, because I have a passion for our community. I have a passion for a community that gave me a business and helped me raise a family. And when I'm out knocking on doors, I'm out talking to people, and I hear your concerns, and I hear the things that you care about, and I hear the things that you want done, it makes me want to stop what I'm doing right there and try to help people, because I love this community. And I want you to know that I'm listening. And I want you to know that after I get elected, I will use that same passion to represent you on a state level. And I will use that same passion to help make things happen here for the people of Harahan, River Ridge, and the rest of District 78. Please look into me, William Wallace for America. I would love to have your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lori Schlegel. I'm the wife of Judge Scott Schlegel. I know he came before you last month and announced his candidacy for the Supreme Court. And while I cannot speak as well as Scott, I definitely know my subject matter well. Scott and I have been together since we were 17 years old. We just celebrated our 20th year anniversary. And as Scott shared with y'all last time, when we first got married, we were victims of a violent crime. In the middle of the night when we were sleeping, a man broke into our apartment, found his way to our bedroom, was crawling next to our bed, and really only by the grace of God, Scott was able to wake up, subdue the man, while I called 911, and the police came within minutes. God bless the police. But what Scott didn't share with you is that I no longer felt safe where I lived. So we decided to move back home, and we actually moved with Scott's parents right there on Imperial Woods in Scott's childhood home where his parents still live today. And while it wasn't optimal for newlyweds to live with their parents or their in-laws, it was really great for me to live in a community I felt totally safe in. And so I'm forever grateful for this community. But everybody should live in a community that they feel safe, and that's what Scott has dedicated his career to. Before he became judge, he was one of the top felony prosecutors in Jefferson Parish, where he tried many murderers and sex offenders with close to 20 life sentences. So Scott gets what it means for crime to take a toll on a family and for society, and that's why with no money, no name recognition, and no political support, he ran for judge, and he won handedly. And ever since then, he's worked tirelessly to fix our broken system. Because no matter what you believe in sentencing, a majority of the people are coming back from prison, and are they coming back better or worse? Well, over 40% of them actually return to prison within 5 years. What we're doing is not working. Scott has actually brought innovative programs to Jefferson Parish to reduce recidivism rate, save taxpayers money, and also to protect society. So with Scott, you're not only going to get a judge who's fair and impartial and prepared, you're going to get a conservative who's not going to legislate from the bench, who's going to rule on the rule of law, and who's also going to protect our constitutional rights. But as a true public servant, you're going to get someone who's tirelessly going to work to change our system. Because Scott is not doing this to advance his career or make more money or to gain more power and influence. He really feels called to serve and to make a difference. Scott is a wonderful man, and I know he will make a wonderful Supreme Court justice. So I urge you all to vote for Scott Schlegel for the Supreme Court on October 12th. And if you want to know more about Scott and his programs, go to voteschlegel.com. Thank you so much for all your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good evening. I'm Kirk Talbot, State Representative for this district. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council, Chief St. Cyr, Chief Walker. I just want to thank you, Mayor, for reaching out to me about getting the lady from the fire marshal's office to come here. If y'all would like her to come back, or anyone else that from the state that can help you with those questions, I'll be glad to have her come back. Don't have a whole lot to add today. I do want to thank the city of Harahan. We hosted a town hall meeting Monday at the Senior Center, and I co-hosted that with our state treasurer, John Schroeder. We had a great turnout. He had his mobile database to check everyone for unclaimed property and unclaimed money. And believe it or not, we gave out, or the state gave out, $44,000. One person had $25,000 they didn't know about. Another person had $6,000 they didn't know about. So I urge you, you're probably thinking, there's no way I have unclaimed money or unclaimed property. And what we mean is, it might be a tax refund from a great uncle or a grandfather. It might be a stock certificate. Most of the claims are $300 or $400, but you might be surprised. So please just Google Louisiana State Treasurer, and when you do that, the unclaimed property thing will pop up. You click on it, you can check it in 30 seconds. But you might be surprised over how much money was there. And we should have charged a finder's fee for the Harahan Senior Center. We'd have raised about who knows how many thousands of dollars. So with that being said, again, Mr. Mayor and Council, thank you for your time. And if you have any questions about anything, I'd be happy to answer that.
Thank you. I want to thank Mr. Talbot for hosting it over there. He also did some legislative updates from this past session. So I'm sure he's going to be going around town doing that other places as well. So thank you.
Thank you. And I do want to remind people I am a candidate for the state Senate, October 12th, same ballot as Mr. Wallace, and I urge you to vote, and I know you will, because Harahan always votes more than anybody else, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you.
Darrell Rishu, 507 Roseland Parkway. I've got a couple of questions that I have been attempting to get answers for, and I do appreciate Mr. Bodier helping us out prior to him becoming mayor and continued on a lot of our questions that we have. On our particular street on Roseland, we have no drainage that takes care of the rainwater that runs off. And when the water, as last month, gets into your sewage system, you have an inundated sewage system that's overflowing onto the sidewalks, not just rainwater. This is sewage. He's seen the videos of it bubbling out the sewage. But I have another question I've been asking that I'd like to get to. I call up Jefferson Parish and I ask them, I said, look, my millage on my personal tax bill includes sewage and drainage. But when I call them to ask them what are they going to do about our drainage problem, they say, oh, no, Harahan's problem. But I pay $113.75 a year for sewage and drainage on my Jefferson Parish bill. And I pay another $58.92 for sewage construction on Harahan's bill, which is supposed to include the drainage. So if I'm paying the both, where's the money going from one or the other? Why isn't the drainage getting fixed? Why do we not have drainage? Now I have a sewage problem backing up into my house. The lady that owns Blue Flash Plumbing, Kelly, she told me that the sewage manhole across the street from my house is supposed to be 9 feet deep. It's 5 feet deep. So if it's only 5 feet deep and not the additional 4 feet, when the water gets in it from the drain we don't have, it fills up, it backs up, it comes back into my house, which is not my problem. Whose problem is it? And I know Mr. Bodier is trying to get answers for us, but it's not happening fast enough. Because every time it floods like this, I've got the water coming back, the sewage coming back into my house and my neighbor's house. The neighbors next door, they rent both the houses that are two doors down from me. They're constantly having sewage problems. And if it's all because of this, when's it going to be resolved? What's the answer? Where's the money going? Again, if I'm paying taxes for Jefferson Parish and taxes for Harahan for drainage and sewage, why is Jefferson Parish pointing to Harahan? I mean, I'd really like to know. It's not just me that's paying this tax. It's everybody in the city of Harahan. That's all I have.
Excuse me, sir, what was your address again?
507 Roseland.
Thank you.
Terry Bolaños, 306 East Avenue. First, I would like to thank, I know you all did something because the website appears to be well on its way to being updated. You can find the check register, you can find contracts, and I know people have been commenting about that on a regular basis. Tonight, a common theme is that people weren't getting answers and didn't know how to get answers, or were very frustrated with they were not getting answers. Off the wall suggestion, but is there any way you could put a page on the website that was locked to citizens or residents of Harahan, meaning somebody that was not a citizen or resident of Harahan could not log into it, much like they do a lot of these resorts or condominium associations, they have their page that's a question and answer thing. Somebody asks a question, you guys go in and answer it, and it's there. Some of the questions that are asked at City Hall, I know you all put your meetings up on YouTube, but a lot of people don't have access to that or can't get it, and it's a way that they might be able to go and get the answers. They can at least go to the library and get the answers. Some people that can go to the library and get the answers on a website might do that, would be less inclined to play YouTube with sound in a library. They would be uncomfortable with that. But it's a way to give them the answers. Question and answer, hey, this question's come up, and then they can go back and maybe look it up, and maybe their question has already been answered. It's a little bit more work for you guys, or a little bit more work for the clerk, but it might be a solution.
How's it going, guys? All right, 7612 Stoneleigh. Lived at my old address for a long time. All right. That young lady there made a great point. So there is, I don't know who it is, but seeing the videos online for people who are in their homes is really important. There are some that are posted online that have the excerpts that are stripped away. What I'd like to know is who owns the right to the video? And maybe the city attorney can, who owns the right to the video? And I'm asking to please stop cutting the people out and then posting it. Because I think the people that don't make it to these meetings and do watch the videos online have a right to see the meeting in its entirety. Because silencing the people and pulling the people out is very dangerous. And I've been to 4 meetings. 3 of the meetings, there has been a silence button that has been pushed. Silencing the people is unconstitutional. When it comes to the way the people act in these chambers, the way the state law reads is that they are unruly. In my opinion, I did not see anyone acting unruly. When it boils down to it, your opinion is completely irrelevant because the law is the law. And the Constitution of the United States is the Constitution. If someone calls you a name, that is not unruly. That is a violation of your civil rights and civil liberties, period. It is unconstitutional, and you are wrong. If I can compare this, I'm a science guy. I'm not a law, I did not take constitutional law. Constitutional law is probably taught in every single law school. But if I'm going to compare it to a science, let's take physics, for example. And Brother Ryan was my professor in college. If you take physics, he was followed me at baseball, played ball in college. And if someone went to him and said, John Voce is going to deny gravity, Brother Ryan would call me a moron. When you take away and push that button to silence somebody, it is extremely dangerous. This is not the Eastern Bloc of Jefferson Parish. We do not carry around papers. So I'm asking you today to please, no matter what they say, it may be childish. Last week, it was childish, in my opinion. But there's no reason to take the mic away from her. And I'm going to just, Alan Dershowitz, famous lawyer, said something very compelling to me.
Move to add 2 minutes to Mr. Boucher's time. Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. He says, I stand here up to the protection of a person's civil liberties. Every American, no matter who they are, should support the Constitution and their civil liberties. I say stand up and preserve your civil liberties and constitutional rights, and politics should never interfere with constitutional law. In my opinion, we stood here and listened to a scholar of the Constitution silence a person from their freedom of speech, and that is wrong. As the council, you get paid to be lauded, congratulated. You also get paid to get criticized sometimes. Because sometimes opposition, your opposition, may come up with a great idea. I thank you for your time.
Oh, sorry. Ms. Judy, could you just give me one quick second? Mr. Voce, Ms. Judy, I'll just leave you 1 second. I don't disagree, and I don't think this council was silencing anybody, but I think in all respect, if you're going to come address us with a concern, you don't need to criticize and make fun. We're all adults here, and the comment, the comment that we're talking about, she pretty much insulted Councilman Asbill, suspension of time. There has to be order. You can't walk in any other municipality With
all due respect, that's your opinion.
It is, and I'm not, I don't.
Your opinion is irrelevant in these chambers.
Okay, okay, that's, okay.
No, but my opinion is, and on the authority of the mayor, I run these meetings and I control them, and we'll get you that ordinance that states so. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Ms. Judy.
That's okay. I want it to be last because this is the end of the meeting. That y'all keep telling us you're gonna answer the questions at the end of the meeting. Mr. Buddy, it's the end of our meeting. Oh, I know. I'm well aware. I sent a letter to each, every one of y'all, all 6 of you, including the city attorney and the city clerk with 10 questions. So you wouldn't be dumbfounded when I got up here and asked these same questions tonight, and you would have time to formulate an answer. I got zip, not one answer to my letter. So here are the questions. When are you going to present financials? We have received nothing since January 1st, 2019. This isn't Mount Rushmore. Y'all can talk. Is the audit complete? I found out it is on the website. How much did it cost? It's your tax money. Do you want to know how much the audit cost? Well, okay, when will the city engineer's report was given at the last meeting? We found that out after the meeting. Are you going to make that public? I was still waiting. I was told I was going to get a copy by one little alderman who shall be nameless tonight, but I haven't gotten it yet. So when are we going to get the report? If you think the city's going to okay $750,000 for repairs that we don't have any idea what the repairs are for, guess again. What is happening with Wilcox Field? Has the city received the $90,000 from Jefferson Parish, and has it been turned over to the HAA? Mr. Chatelain, you're the president. Have you got the money?
I'll answer at the end of the meeting.
This is the end of the meeting. When will the handicapped accessible bathrooms be started for the outside bathrooms at the gym and Royland Park? Any idea? That's your venue too, because y'all said y'all were going to do it. No answers. Are there any plans for handicapped accessible paths to the shelters where the handicapped tables are located, since you can't push a wheelchair through the grass? Wow. Where is the ordinance that changed the $4 monthly charge for garbage service to $5? Did y'all ever find it? Never? I mean, last time you told me you couldn't find it. So does it exist or not? Does anybody know? Do y'all know anything? The great stone faces. Well, since y'all collected over $1 million on that illegal ordinance, when are you going to give us back our money? Since 1996, you've been overcharging us. They owe us $1 million, and that's without interest. Now you're collecting a $15 fire department volunteer fire company fee, which we all knew was on our water bill. Or actually, I think it's on our tax bill. But the volunteer fire company ceased to exist several years ago.
I'll make a motion to give it 2 more minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. 5 yeas.
Why? Y'all not going to answer?
I want all your questions.
You got all my questions. You've had them for a month. A whole month, and not one of you had the guts to answer my email. Somebody's phone. They're not answering the phone either. Well, I got one question, one statement for y'all from good old Harry Truman. If y'all can't stand the heat to answer these questions, get out of the kitchen. Resign.
Hi, guys. I'm John Ilg. I'm running for state representative. I appreciate you guys giving me your time. I'm glad I got here in time to address you guys. during the political season, everybody knows, I know Mike does, you're going everywhere to a lot of places, introducing yourself to a lot of different groups. I'm happy to be here tonight. As you guys, I addressed you guys last month, I'm running for state representative out here. Grew up out here in this area, back in the day where you rode your bikes to Harahan Playground and you hung out there all day, and then you rode your bikes, you got your parents to drive you back in the end of the night to go play ball. Those days seem like a long time ago, but Harahan's been a big part of my life. The people that I know in this area are tired of seeing their children leave this state to go work in other places. We have to do more in this state to make this economically feasible for our kids to stay here and make a future in this state. One of my biggest programs I'm promoting is early childhood education, put more money into that. Also in technical training for our kids in high school. So we can fill the jobs in the plants and areas and attract more business to this state. We've also got roadway projects that we need done in this state. I'm still trying to figure out why we can't get off at Earhart on Deck Bar. I think it's something that needs to be done, needs to be addressed, and is long overdue. It is a state road, it needs to be done. I think it's an easier way to get to Oshkosh and promote business in this state. There's a lot of things that need to be done out in this area. I think I'm the right guy for the job. I appreciate you guys' support. We'll be out in your neighborhood. We've been out here a lot lately. We need your help. I need your help, and I hope for your support on October 12th. Thank you guys for giving me the time to address y'all, and I look forward to seeing y'all on the campaign. Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone coming to address public hearing? No one coming forth. Public hearing is now closed.
All right, Secretary's report for July. Total revenue, $419,276.56. And reports.
Statistics for the Harahan Police Department for the month of July 2019. We had 702 calls for service. We handled 8 auto accidents. We issued 140 citations for 172 different charges. Had 8 patrol requests. 5 narcotics arrests. There were 8 narcotics charges, 3 were felony, 4 were misdemeanor, and 1 was a city charge. Other arrests were 40 for 64 different charges, 8 felonies, 42 misdemeanors, 12 city charges, and 2 traffic arrests. For the month of July, there were no murders, no rapes, no robberies, no residential burglaries, 1 non-residential burglary, no attempted burglary, 1 motor vehicle theft, no attempted motor vehicle thefts, 5 larceny thefts, and 4 assaults. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Sincere? You good? Okay. Councilman Asbeth?
Oh, yeah, I get to go first
I'm
this
sorry,
time.
you were starting backwards. All right, Councilman Wheeler?
So just a couple of things. I do want to remind everybody about, yes, the firemen cookout in September. You can go to the For a Better Harahan Facebook page. They have all of the information if you want to donate. I think they're taking baked goods. If you want to do a sponsorship level, yes, they will have the infamous Dunk the Politician booth. So we're going to try to see which politician can raise the most money. And then I just want to congratulate the East Bank softball team. Unfortunately, it wasn't the victory and the ending that we wanted last night, but I think they played phenomenally well, and to get as far as they did. I believe they came home today.
Yes.
They were greeted with a warm welcome. I believe there were 6 Harahan girls that were on that team. And I believe the boys played
still.
today.
They start tomorrow.
Oh, start tomorrow.
Friday.
So good luck to the East Bank boys, and y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
Councilman Johnson?
No report.
Oh, that's right.
Councilman Chatterley?
All right. Wilcox Field. Engineers are looking at the Wilcox Field. First, we were trying to redo the field. Now we're looking into changing maybe a little turfed infield. So we're working to get drawings to see what's the best way to spend our money and get this worked out. Handicap access to bathrooms and handicap bathrooms and handicap access to the shelters which hold the bathrooms. We're looking in a grant from the state right now. The state has just gave Lafayette Park, I want to say, $900,000 to upgrade, if y'all watch the news, to upgrade the park to some handicap access. So we're looking into that to see if we can move forward and get some of this funds to help pay for some of this. Take less money from our taxpayers in Harahan. State's tax dollars are our tax dollars. Engineers report for the fire station. We spoke to some large construction companies. They're looking at getting some interns in to evaluate this report, walk in, do evaluations on this to see what's the best way to spend the money. Just so y'all understand, I believe Jefferson Parish, I don't have exact numbers, and please don't hold me to it. A new fire station's over $5 million. Things don't cost what they used to cost. I mean, if you could build a fire station 45 years ago for $700,000, and I want to say I heard that's what we paid to build that station. I don't know exactly, but okay. And the new up-to-date specs that you have to meet, NFPA and the fire, all of these new things, you're looking at over $5 million for a fire station. So we're going to have these young interns look at these reports. I just don't think we're ready to share them. I mean, let's get some more opinions on this and see where we're going, see if we're going in the right direction. You walked through, you made a list. I'm sure it's the same as your list. The ceilings, the ACs, the mold. I mean, we could go on and on. Some things they did, some things, I don't have your report. Can you give me a copy of your report with pictures? So we're gonna move forward, let our construction companies who have the interns to come in and look at it. It's gonna be a learning lesson for all of us, see where we can go, see what we can do to move forward. Someone reached out to me today from the Harahan Lions Club, says, please come out and join us on August 24th from 7 to 10, potluck and open discussion. They're looking for help to save the Harahan Lions Club. They say it's been a large part of Harahan for over 60 years. They're looking for new members, young members to come in with fresh ideas. Plenty of our parents and grandparents worked with the Lions Club over the past. And they're looking, they were on the borderline of shutting down just because they can't make ends meet, you know. So they're looking for volunteers, people who could help out. You know, they do a lot for the community. I mean, you could go there, rent it for private parties, different reasons. I've been to dance reviews there. I've been to dances, fundraisers, different events. My favorite one is special needs for Halloween. They do a big Halloween party for Magnolia School. And I believe they have a lot of special needs kids there. We've been there, we've distributed candy, we've always helped out. But they're really hurting, you know, and anybody who could join, help, go in there with some ideas. It's a nonprofit organization that helps out a lot of small, different people and places. So like I said, they have it's August 24th from 7 to 10, open discussion, see if anybody could join, help out with some volunteer information, fundraising, you know, I mean, anything you could do to help out. A few of the ordinances that we discussed tonight. Just so everybody understands, ordinances come up, they get discussed, they get amended, things change. We listen to the people, listen what they have to say. We'll shift that around in the ordinance to get them right. We want to get everything right. The negativity in the audience is people coming up with the negative. If we could take a lot of that and put it in a positive manner, it would help move the city forward quicker. I appreciate y'all coming here. I appreciate y'all's opinions, and we do take it, and we'll move forward. Earlier they talked about, you know, we silencing the people. We silencing the people. I really believe if you're going to come up here and criticize us, I might be right, I might be wrong. Have to get the city attorney's opinion, get them to do a little research. I'm not going to let you come up here and beat up one of my colleagues. It's not happening. I'm not going to beat you up. If we want to go outside and talk and you want to call me funny names and stuff, that's fine and dandy. I don't think this is the place, public forum, to come here and do that. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Buddy?
Yes. Thank you. I have a few comments. One is that I signed a pledge to support renovation of a restroom at the playground, up to, I think, $50,000, if I recall. And that pledge was made dependent upon the city's having the money. What I've come to find out is that we've got serious problems in this city, and we don't have the money to repair things. We don't have $600,000 to repair the fire department. We don't have $200,000. So before I personally vote, and I'm just one councilman speaking for myself, before I vote to spend $50,000 on a pledge that was meant to be, in my mind, concurrent with the development of a significantly improved playground for not only the children of Harahan, but the area, I'm gonna wanna make sure that our toilets are flushing and that we're making the absolute minimum repairs necessary to the fire department. So it's the same thing we would do in our household. You have a plan, you have a budget, you find out you don't have enough money to do everything, you have to now set priorities. So that, and I'm just speaking for myself, I've not had this conversation with any other councilman, or the mayor. Back to the question about has the Harahan Athletic Association or the city received the funds from Jefferson Parish for the improvements to the playground? No, and we never will. The money was never gonna come to the city, as I understand it. The city was gonna decide what they wanted to build, bid it out, get the work done, and Jefferson Parish was gonna pay the invoices. As I understand that proposal, the city was never gonna receive the money. The Harahan Athletic Association was never gonna touch the dollars. And to me, that's a minor distinction, but to some members of the city, or some citizens, it seems to be a significant point. On a closing note, by next month, I've been working with the city finance director to try to prepare a report on the status of the city sewer department, sewer fund. And I expect to have that ready for the next council meeting. And it's not gonna be a pretty picture. And again, it gets down to the city's got a lot of needs. We've got limited capital available and limited income coming in. So there's gonna be a lot of difficult decisions that are gonna have to be made. And we've been on board for 7 months, going on 8 months. We've been working hard. I'm not patting ourselves on the back. We're doing what anyone else would do. We're trying to get our arms around some significant issues. And all of them are affected by the other. At the same time, we've got lift stations failing, streets caving in, and people are working hard. We're not perfect. No one's perfect. But these folks are doing the best they can, and the city employees are doing the best they can. So I'm not asking for more time. I'm just explaining the reality of it. But anyway, the money doesn't grow on trees. We don't have enough of it. Get used to it, folks. This is our reality. And it's not only us, it's every municipality. One other question, a gentleman's got sewerage issues backing up in his house, and I appreciate that. We need to do whatever we can to address that. But to answer a specific question, we as citizens of Harahan pay a millage to Jefferson Parish for drainage. That money funds major ditches and canals that collect the water and the pumping stations. So that money doesn't repair the city's collection system. So if there's a drain line running down my backyard, Jefferson Parish has nothing to do with it. That's the city's responsibility. So there's a clear distinction of what we pay to the parish as opposed to what the parish does. And money for drainage that we pay on our Harahan property taxes to Jefferson Parish aren't coming back to the city to repair a drain line in front of my house or your house. We can work with them to improve the major ditches that water go into, and we can work with the parish to hopefully make improvements to the Soniac Canal if that's causing any issues. But Jefferson Parish is not going to come into Harahan and work on a drain line running through one of our backyards or on our street. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Councilman Ezra?
Yes, so just a few points. I'll address this first and get out of the way. It is the mayor's responsibility to support this council to maintain the decorum of this meeting. To maintain the decorum of this meeting, and within the council chambers. Whether you're sitting out in the audience, speaking out of turn, up at the podium, causing trouble, I think it's our job to make sure that everyone's time is respected, including yours, and make sure we're not wasting your time. That's all I'll address there. Just a couple other points. I want to thank Chief Walker. Had a couple of interactions with police officers this week that I really appreciated their professionalism. First, I want to recognize Officer Danny Johnson. He came out to my house this week and took a report for some minor property damage that was done. And he was probably the most professional Harahan police officer I've ever met. He's a recent hire here in Harahan. He spent 11 years over in West Wego. So we thank West Wego for their training, and we accept it. And thank you for that. Also, Sergeants West and Snyder happened to stop at the racetrack to get some fuel. And I noticed they were there also fueling up before their shift or during their shift. And they had a disabled vehicle in the parking lot, wasn't on the street, wasn't within the jurisdiction, but they took their time and went and helped change a tire over there. And so it's something that they didn't really have to do. They probably should do as public service. They could have passed it up and said it was out of the way, no traffic around it, but good on them for helping do that, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Chief. Couple of reminders here. Well, first, has anybody else noticed the beautiful sunsets we've had the last couple of days in Harahan? It's been awesome. So my front porch faces the west, and they have just been beautiful. Oranges and purples and blues that I have rarely seen in the sky, and I just wanted to make sure you're getting out there and looking at those too. Just bringing up the East Bank softball team. They did a great job. Congratulations to them. And also, I noticed on Sports Center last night, although they lost the game, they actually had two top 10 defensive plays in that game that were featured on Sports Center, both by the pitcher. So good on her and great job. Wood Materials. There's a hearing set for August 21st at 9 a.m. in Judge Kovach's courtroom. It is a hearing to determine whether they are actually in violation of the city ordinance. The prescription has been determined that the city is within its rights to bring the lawsuit, and so now the judge is going to rule on whether they're actually in violation, and we're feeling confident that we'll win that. And then the last thing, the city has set up a new email address to make it a little bit easier to contact the city council. It is city.council@ci.harahan.la.us. That is a distribution group. It will go to every member of the city council by just putting that one email address in. city.council@ci.harahan.la.us. So just enter that one email address. It'll be forwarded to all of us at the same time. That way you don't spell somebody's name wrong or just forget somebody, things like that. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
I'll try to make a couple of quick points here. We got the report for the fire station. We've all discussed that. We don't think we're prepared, to go to the public with it yet. We do want to do more homework on it. And it's hard because sometimes we do want to go and we want to come to the public, but you get criticized so viciously that it makes us, take second thoughts at too many things. I know as the council and myself, the criticisms sometimes are just out of control. Ms. Duffy, thank you for addressing us the way you have. That's the kind of person I want to respond to. That's the person I will go above and beyond. You asked the question, how did the fire department get that way? It's old. It's old. So we are looking, we have met with some engineers, we are looking at some public-private partnerships. We'd like to build a new fire station, and there's all kind of avenues out there. You know, we know that maybe if we can get the ball going, that we can jump in and get some state help. The part of it is, though, sometimes you got to get the ball going. You have to show them that you're there, because no one wants to come be a part of an idea, but they want to be a part of a concept that's actually moving, and we'd love to build a, Chief, what do you call it?
An EOC.
An EOC. We'd love to build our own EOC, and that's our goal. That's what we're working towards. But it's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of things trying to figure that out.
A lot of money.
So Roseland, I think Mr. Buddy addressed your concern about your drainage on Roseland, and believe it or not, I've been in these ditches. You come walk with me. However, you do raise a point, and I want to understand myself what sewage is for. But that aside, because I'm working right in your neighborhood, you know I've been there plenty, and you know your well is too shallow. It's 5 feet when it should be 9 feet. But as we do work in the city, we're looking for solutions in kind of like a block situation. So we've noticed between the 400 block and the 500 block of Roseland that it's 2 drains sit on the riverside of Wilson, but not any on the lake side of Roseland. The water's coming down so fast off the 400 block, it's skimming over the drains so it's not being caught and it's moving into the 500 block. Well, in doing these repairs, I'll come back to that to repair too. When doing these repairs, we learned, we said our water main broke. So I had Kelly with Blue Flash came out with me. We looked, we followed the water, and that drain actually drains that way. Well, we followed that drain, and a block down, it don't drain anymore. So we actually got in this repair, we actually got them to yank these drains out of the ground, and we repaired them. So now, do I think it's going to solve all of the problem? No, but it's definitely going to help. And believe it or not, you have such a massive problem that we're gonna have to take it in increments. And I think that we've done real good in finding at least one avenue to get some water off of your street. Now, on your bill, and I know this isn't directly influenced on your bill, but I want you to let you know what the parish did and what Councilman Johnston did between Gordon and Carolyn. We replaced a water line, we replaced a sewer line, that's the city's responsibility, but the parish covered the tab for us, and we got that drain line replaced in. So for hundreds of thousands of dollars, we spent $4,000 of your money. The parish helped us with all the rest. So, and maybe we don't have the direct answers that we want, but when I go to them to ask them for help, they're always there. And so maybe, you know, we can cut them a little slack, but again, I want that answer that you have. That is a great question, and I'd like to go get the answer myself. The audit. Let's talk about, Ms. Judy asked what the audit cost. The audit cost right at about $35,000, which is, last year we spent, I think we spent $78,000. So I was able to get that in half. So I've saved you probably $43,000 of your taxpayer money, so we can go in, because we work with auditors here. I actually brought in an auditor that had been here in the past, and I worked them over. I mean, that's what I did. Look, we got to come in better. I cannot afford that, and I need this audit done and done right. And let me tell you, I'm so proud of them, and so proud of having my audit done the way we did, and we did a good job at it at half the price. Ms. Judy asked a lot of questions that she already knows the answer to. So you get back into that thing, wow, it's just another setup to be attacked on Facebook, and 99% of the time it is. And so I'm not subjecting myself on to be attacked anymore. You want to come ask me a question, ask me in a kind manner. Don't attack me on Facebook about it, and I'll bust butt to give you an answer. And believe it or not, Ms. Judy does come with some great points. Let's talk about the 2 ordinances and the money that she has collected. Yes, I did find them. Good. And yes, I do believe that the city of Harahan is well within their rights to do what they're doing. And if Ms. Judy wants to challenge the city of Harahan, then I guess that's what we'll do in court. Because this is not the forum to do that. But we are well within our rights. These ordinances are right. And I have done my homework on that to find that answer for you guys, to make sure that the city does not open itself. So, congratulations to the East Bank girls. They were amazing. I watched them.
I know.
They were awesome. What a great feather in the hat to showcase what Harahan has to offer one more time. Man, I often and always think about, wow, if we could just turn this around, positivity would be unbelievable for us. We have a great, this is another thing you guys asked us, hey, find money to help the fire department. Well, I've been helping a group called For Better Harahan. And what their first mission is going to be to do is to raise money to get the Harahan Fire Department new breathing equipment. We're looking to raise about $30,000. We will raise that $30,000, and I think we may surpass that $30,000. But it's just another avenue, and this is citizens coming out going, hey, I want to help. I have a great idea. Why don't we do this? Man, that's what we want. Come on. That's what we want to hear. Come help us. And so we entertain an idea, and I'm working real hard. Do you have the date on that?
It is September, September 14th.
It is September the 14th
From
at the
5
place.
to 9:30.
And we're asking everyone, come out,
Excuse me, 5 to 9.
Come spend a couple dollars, grab a hamburger, hot dog, come dunk one of your elected officials. My money is going to be on Councilman Asbill's probably going to win. But,
How convenient.
I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody who does come up and talk with us, talk to us with respect and chooses to not criticize and work with us, the financiers. And, I think that's what we should all be about. And I appreciate everything you guys do. I appreciate you as council. I appreciate my staff, my fire chief, my police chief, and my city clerk, my city attorney. You guys are amazing. We have an amazing team. And when Miss Jean says wake up, I agree with her in that connotation of wake up. Wake up, because you have an amazing team busting their butts for you. Come out, come help us. Let's get it done together, because that's what it's about. Team Harahan.
Pay the bills.
Executive session.
Oh,
Pay bills.
Pay bills and an executive session.
Bills paid in July 2019, total expenditures $580,534.38.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, move to go in executive session regarding Woods Material et al. V. City of Harahan, 24 JDC.
I have a motion on the floor by
Number
Councilman Asbill
761783.
to go into executive session. Second by Councilman Johnson. We are now going into executive session. All right, call the meeting back to order. No action was taken in executive session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second
Second.
by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Council meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.